Action.
Hi, everyone. This is Michelle Gramoglia, the President and CEO here at Woodland Pond, and this is my weekly address for a Tuesday. Today is Tuesday, March 5th, 2024. I've got a variety of topics to talk about today, and I'm going to address them in no real order here, but let's start with something that I consider to be extremely important. As you all know, Woodland Pond has long been a host site for blood drives with the American Red Cross. And if you have found yourselves on any of their distribution lists, whether it's email or text or phone, you know that there is a severe blood shortage right now. And this is something that many of us are healthy enough and qualified to give. And so we are going to be having our next blood drive here on campus on March 22nd. It's a Friday. You can reserve a time slot to give a full blood, or I think they call it a power red, which is just platelets, here on campus on March 22nd. We usually have about 40 time slots and we usually fill them, but I really want to encourage everyone that's watching this, if you're qualified, to consider donating blood. It's an amazing gift. There are so many people that need blood products, and it's something that if we're healthy enough to give, we like to encourage it here at Woodland Pond. So please do consider signing up for that. There are rules on the website about who qualifies and who doesn't, and we can go from there. The next things that I wanted to talk about, there's a calendar highlight that the Shalom Space group wanted me to talk about and make sure everyone sort of has on their radar. We will be hosting again Lou Bernstein, who is a professor, and he came and spoke, I think, in January, and it was very well received. It might have been December at this point, but just to have this on your calendar to be thinking about, he will be coming to talk about negotiating the terms for a Palestinian state, covering topics of borders, refugees, security, water rights, settlements, and Jerusalem. And that will be on April 4th at 1 o'clock in the PAC. This is only open to residents. We will be closely monitoring the discussion. There is no room for divisiveness, dissemination, those kinds of things. We just really need people to come to learn. He's coming as a lecturer. So we encourage you to put that on your calendars as well if you'd like to learn more about the history and those concepts. This Thursday, we do have a room change. Grace's exercise class and the Catholic service that are normally in the in the PAC will be happening in the game room this Thursday. So just look out for those items to be in the game room on Thursday. And then on Friday, we have a guest lecturer coming in to the PAC at 2 p.m. His name is Bob Ulrich, and he will be giving a program on how the Dutch and not the British created America. For those of you that are not aware, our region was heavily Dutch influenced and settled by the Dutch, and apparently before the British. So if you'd like to learn more about that, and I think that's an extremely interesting topic, that will be at 2 p.m. this Friday in the PAC. Okay, moving on to some other concepts. Let's see, we have got a notice for folks that you have a couple of different things that you can sign up for at Concierge. Some are time sensitive, so I will just ask you to please listen to these carefully and then sign up with Concierge if you are interested. There is a group of residents that has chartered a bus, so one of those coach buses, to go to Syracuse for the eclipse that's happening on April 8th. There is a cost associated with this. They do have the costs. Obviously, the more people that attend, the less per person this costs. If you're interested in riding on that bus to go to the eclipse in Syracuse on April 8th, please sign up with Concierge as quickly as possible. I believe that to the extent that we don't fill the bus with residents, that this certainly could be potentially opened up to family members and possibly staff. So if you are a family member or a loved one or a staff member that's interested, please just indicate that when you sign up. First priority is going to be given to residents, and then we would go to the waiting list for everyone else. So please do sign up sooner than later if you're interested in that trip. We are heavy into planning for Earth Week at this point. There is a subcommittee that is working on coming up with lots of interesting and informative activities for Earth Week, which is the third week of April. So you're going to want to look out sooner than later as to the special events that will be happening during that week. And if you're interested in participating or planning for Earth Week at all, you can be in touch with Concierge, and then we will get you in touch with the residents that are planning that. So again, that's something that you can indicate interest with Concierge. The next thing that Concierge will be holding lists for are for all of those residents that are interested in having a formalized voice in the expansion and renovation project. Right now, we are formulating the lists of focus groups for the community building renovation work. And if you had seen and participated in the survey that we circulated in January, you would have seen that we asked you to indicate interest in participating in a focus group. Many of you did. So we've got, multiple different focus groups listed, and Concierge can help you understand what those are. We will also put this in the Chanticleer on Friday. Groups there are that you're most interested in. And the reason that we're going to do it this way is allowing you to be on one focus group is because we want as many opinions as we can possibly get. So we really would like to have many residents participate in the focus groups rather than just maybe having the same people over and over on each of the different topics. So some of the different focus groups off the top of my head are dining, sustainability, arts and entertainment, and then fitness. And I think there might be one or two more, but Concierge will have those lists. And this will be a group that will meet on an ad hoc basis. Each focus group will be a different group. You're going to meet with different members of staff and management, and then all of our different partners in business as we go forward with, this is the specific to the community building renovation. So meeting with the interior design firm when they're ready for focus group input, with the hospitality consultant, with the architect, and so forth. So we don't have schedules or commitments at this point. Right now, we're really just formulating those list of folks that are interested, and we're going to go from there. Let's see. Oh, also on the expansion and renovation, this is just a reminder that for the time being, there are certain committees of the Residents Council that are getting sort of complete updates in terms of what has happened since the last meetings and so forth. If you're not already looking at the committee minutes from your committees, you should be. A strong recommendation. Same thing for the Residents Council minutes and the board minutes. All of those things can be found in the library, and we also have them available electronically. But there's a lot of great committee work being done by dining committee, physical plant, finance. You should really be reading those minutes if you have some downtime so that you can understand what your resident colleagues are working on in their volunteer retired time with us. So there are significant updates happening at different committee levels, but for the residents as a whole, and all of the folks that watch or participate in our management question and answer sessions, which are on the third Wednesday of every month, that is going to be a place that you're always going to get an update from us for the time being. At the meeting on March 20th, as you all know, as I reported at the last meeting in February, it's our intention to share with you the first concept drawings for the preliminary new layout of the community building. So you're not going to want to miss that. And also at that meeting, we're going to be announcing to you how we believe that you will be able to get more complete and current updates, even in between those meetings, and even if you're not on a committee. So you're definitely going to want to attend that meeting or watch it on our YouTube channel. Those management Q&A meetings, personally, I think are one of the most valuable that we have on campus, because it's a place for all of the residents. And I really encourage folks from every level of care that are physically able to attend to do so. But it's a place for every resident, even those that are not on committees, not on the council, to really be present, meet and see the directors, experience our personalities a little bit, and then ask your questions. So I highly encourage you to keep those on your calendar. Let's see, the next thing that I wanted to talk about was related to the Happy or Not machines. For those that are not familiar or not quite sure, our dining program offers you the ability to give real-time feedback on your dining experience. And these are on standalone machines called Happy or Not. We currently have had one in independent living outside of the main dining room for over a year. And this week, we will also be deploying one to assisted living. And this is a place where you can, right after a meal or a dining experience, maybe in the pub or in the bistro, just give either really quick feedback by tapping on a green light for a spectrum of really pleased, to a red light of a spectrum of I didn't like my meal for whatever reason. So it's as simple as you could just tap a button indicating your satisfaction level with the dining experience. But it also gives you the opportunity to type free-form feedback about anything that has happened related to your dining experience. So I look at the reports every day. I know that our team, our dining team, is given the weekly results every Monday by Amy. But I just need you to know, we really do look at this. Just a couple of, tips and pointers for when you're using the Happy or Not machines. The feedback, the smiley faces and the sad faces are helpful, but it's really the free text feedback that is most helpful for us. For example, yesterday, actually this morning, I looked at the reports, and on Sunday, we actually had 2 unhappy results, which is really unusual for us to have 2 really unhappy results. So when I looked at the free text, one indicated that the person that put the comment in was disappointed in the lack of how many beans were in a bean soup, and basically said, beans are cheap. We should be putting a lot of beans in. And I totally agree with that. I love beans and bean soup. And so that's a great feedback, but actually writing it out, not just the sad face, helps us understand what would you like to see better. So please always continue as much as you possibly can to type out the free text comments associated with your happy face, or especially with your sad faces. The happy face stuff is great, but there's not a lot of meat there for us to work with. It's the constructive comments that you give us back when you're dissatisfied with something, that give us really some material to work with and to improve on. Another example, the second negative or dissatisfied comment that I read this morning was also from Sunday. These were both from Sunday. Indicated that at their table, 3 of the 4 meals were served cold at brunch. And of course, this was very upsetting to me, because that should not be your experience at all. And I just want to encourage everyone that if at any time, at any dining experience, you are dissatisfied, our staff wants nothing more than to be able to satisfy you in that moment. And I would just encourage, I can't tell from the comment, but I would encourage that if you have that experience, or you have an experience where your meat is too tough, or something is not prepared to what you ordered, please feel empowered to contact the wait staff or the manager immediately at that moment, because we want the opportunity to fix that for you in that moment. We can't read minds, and the Happy or Not machine is really great for things like put more beans in bean soup. But for an experiential situation that we could and want to fix in the moment, please do reach out to a staff member or to a manager in the dining room. to have us help you rectify that. As you know, we have management present almost at every meal in independent living and have for a long time. If they're not in the dining room, they're in the building. You just need to ask. And roughly a month ago, maybe 6 weeks ago, we also invested in a new full-time management position for the health center dining room. So you've got plenty of management available to help you, and we are encouraging you to use your voice. The last thing that I wanted to talk about today actually is sort of a plea. And, you know, it's our priority here at Woodland Pond to always be prepared and anticipate your needs. But we don't have crystal balls and we can't read minds. So what I'm asking of you is to keep us informed when you're experiencing significant health changes, new diagnoses, potential surgeries, challenges with your activities of daily living, so how you're managing in your home environment. I know that this can be a really emotional decision to make to involve us in what's going on with your life. And none of us are motivated to accelerate a move for you for example, to the health center. There's lots of interventions and opportunities that we can assist you with in maintaining your independence at every level of care. And it's 100% our goal of our team to keep everyone as independent as possible for as long as possible. So that's the baseline. But we really run into challenges in serving you and caring for you if we find out about things with no notice. Just this week alone, and today's only Tuesday, 4 pending surgeries for residents in independent living have come to our attention, and several of those are coming up really soon. We had no idea that they were on the radar. We didn't have really a lot of time to do any kind of advanced interventions to help you, make sure that you're being supported as you're waiting for your surgeries. But then also, it's critically important as we look at our bed availability and our flow of residents to make sure that if we know that we have 4 residents that are going out to the hospital for scheduled surgeries from independent living in the next 2 or 3 weeks, we really need to know that, because we have to make sure that we're communicating with the hospitals, we're communicating with you, and that we're communicating as a team to make sure that we've got skilled nursing beds if you might need one. There are things that we always want to talk to you about as a surgical candidate to make sure that you know that you've got to advocate for yourself to be capital A admitted to the hospital. If it's an overnight surgery, do not let them keep you in an observation status. We want to talk about different interventions that you might need in your home after surgery, even if you don't need to go to skilled nursing, adaptive equipment, working with physical therapy or occupational therapy to make sure that you're being supported. Again, we are incredibly motivated to keep people independent as long as possible, regardless of what level of care that you're at. We've got a great team to do that, but being surprised by medical new diagnoses, surgeries that you're having, challenges that you're having, you've had a fall and haven't told us, you think you fractured your arm, all of these things are going to put all of us, you and Woodland Pond, in a much harder position to be able to respond if you do need help and support. There are very specific admission requirements for both skilled nursing and assisted living and memory care. None of those things are emergency care. None of those things can happen in the blink of an eye. And there's some confusion about that sometimes with residents. We really do try to communicate this, but again, this is a plea. I'm asking you to be forthcoming with us at every level of care or the family members with new challenges that are coming on, because we're really here to help you. And we have an enormous breadth of experience and interventions that we can help support you and your family members as you go through this journey. We're going to be 15 years old in September. We've seen a lot of things, and I think that we've really figured out great ways to support the residents. We want to do that for all of you, but we really need to have the information. With that, I'm going to say goodbye, and I hope you all have a great week. Thanks.